Hi guys, I'm Dimension Jumper. Welcome back to another theory video. Now with Hyrule Warriors Age of Calamity being released literally next month, and the demo for the game being released like a few days ago in time of recording, and with both the Wild 2 still on the horizon, I thought that I wanted to try and have a crack at Ganondorf and how he might have survived, even though he's got the hand on his chest. And I want to look through like how he created the Malice and the events that took place not only during the events 100 years ago before Breath of the Wild, but also 10,000 years ago. So yeah, so with everything that we've been shown in the Breath of the Wild, we know that Malice has the power to corrupt anything from Ganondorf to Calamity Ganon to the Guardian to the Divine Beast, even with a dragon. If you go to the Spring of Wisdom, you get to see the dragon like covered in a bunch of malice. And I would like to think somehow Ganon might have found something that helped him amplify his power, and he might have tried to use that power to take over Hyrule. Now, one thing that comes to mind is the Luminous Stones. Now, the Luminous Stones can be found all over Hyrule, and they give off a blue tint. Now, the description of luminous stones say that this mysterious mineral gives off a pale blue glow in the dark, which some believe to be the souls of the dead. Now, I like to believe that Ganondorf somehow knew about the luminous stones, so he read them up during before the events of 10,000 years ago. Now, what if Ganondorf used the luminous stones on some of his minions, and that led to the creation of the style malice-covered enemies that you get to see throughout parts of Hyrule Castle and the Divine Beasts. And he tried to resurrect them somehow, and that's what made them transform into those floating skulls. Now let's say that Ganondorf was doing really well in his experimenting, but what if he tried to use the Luminous Stones Malice thing on himself? And that's what created Calamity Ganon. Now, what if this took place 10,000 years ago, the moment the Calamity Ganon first, appeared? Because this was something that we've never seen before. With other appearances of Ganondorf or Ganon, we always know how to defeat him, or Hyrule in lore always know how to defeat him. There was the silver arrows or the light arrows, and there was also always Link and the Master Sword. But with Calamity Ganon, Hyrule had never seen this kind of thing before, but were able to defeat him with the Divine Beasts and the Champions, and with Link and Zelda of that time. Now, I like to believe that Calamity Ganon is a part of Ganondorf's soul in a way, because if you look at all of the floating skull styles, the style Lystalfos's, the Moblins, and also the Bokoblins, you get to see they're kind of floating, kind of like how a ghost would or a spirit would. And I like to think that Calamity Ganon is a part of Ganondorf's soul. And now let's say, now I like to think that that Calamity Ganon, during the events of 10,000 years ago, and the events before Breath of the Wild, was when Ganondorf took his time to try and bring back Calamity Ganon, because the power was quite powerful and it might be draining. So when Link has collected all 4 spirituals from all the 4 shrines in the Great Plateau, and he goes to see the ghost of the King of Hyrule, the king says,
Ganon was cunning, and he responded with a plan beyond our imagining.
Now, what if Calamity Ganon, the first time he kind of awoke, it took part of Ganondorf's mind, or his his eyes or whatever, because we have seen that kind of before with Spirit Zelda in Spirit Tracks. Because if you remember, towards the end of the game, when Zelda has fully re-emerged her spirit of the body, she still remembered the events that took place during the game. So she still remembered Argen, the Tower of Spirits, the different temples, the time she went into the Phantoms, and that sort of thing. So I would like that. So I would like to think that once Calamity Ganon was defeated 10,000 years ago, part of the mind that was in Calamity Ganon went back into Ganondorf, and when the king does say Ganon had a plan beyond our reckoning, I would like to think that the events 100 years ago was when Calamity Ganon resurrected the second time. He knew what to do. Because he had battled the divine beasts and the champions and Zelda and Link of that time before, and then once he did resurrect himself, he took over the divine beasts. So if you look at all the divine beasts when they're corrupted, you get to see that they have their blights. So you've got Thunder Blight Ganon, Fire Blight Ganon, Wind Blight Ganon, and Water Blight Ganon. And I would like to think that those are like parts of Calamity Ganon himself. Because if you look at the final boss fight between Link and Calamity Ganon, mainly the first phase, you get to see a lot of similarities between Calamity Ganon and the Blights. Because Calamity Ganon uses the spear from Water Blight Ganon, as well as the ice blocks. He uses the sort of shell sort of thing that Fire Blight Ganon does. He has the laser beam shooting gun thing from Wind Blight Ganon, and also the lightning kind of from Thunder Blight Ganon. And I like to think that when Ganondorf had been defeated 10,000 years ago when he was Calamity Ganon, he used the blights to face off the champions in the divine beasts, so that if they managed to defeat the blights, they could go back into Ganondorf, give him a lot of information, and then when Link was going to face off Ganondorf or Calamity Ganon in Hyrule Castle, Calamity Ganon could use those skills that he learned from the champions and the blight, and then use them on Link and easily defeat Link. Because I think that makes a lot of sense if you look at it. But unfortunately, the champions fell, and then Link had to defeat the blights either in Hyrule Castle or in the divine beasts. So the main reason why I think that Ganondorf created the Malice is that I believe that he's slowly dying, not as in how he's been defeated in Twilight Princess when he died standing up, or how he got turned to stone in the Wind Waker. I genuinely think that Ganondorf is starting to slowly over time, every time he's come back in the different games in his human form, I like to think that both his body and his magic are starting to wear down, and that I think that's why he wanted to try and find a way to make himself live longer. Because I feel like with where the game is going now with Breath of the Wild 2, I feel like this is going to be the true final game in which Ganondorf is going to appear in the main Zelda timeline, and I feel like that Ganondorf would want to find a way to try and live longer and try and find a way to get the Triforce so he could take over Hyrule before his final moments and before he completely dies or whatever. But yeah, so that's my theory for Ganondorf creating the Malice. I hope you enjoyed that video. Don't forget to like, share and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video.